All right, what's going on, everybody? Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over a little bit of news. Obviously, I know it's a little bit late right now. It's almost 2 o'clock my time in the morning. I was hoping to get on like a couple hours ago, but it just did not end up being in the cards, and so we're on right now. Oh, I take that off. Yeah, we're on right now. We're gonna go over some of the news, and then we're gonna go over a live fantasy football draft on Underdog. Remember, if you guys want to join us, this is the best way to join us. Use those two codes. They will match up $100 on your first deposit if you guys want to draft with us. And yeah, let's go over the news real quick. So let me go to my other screen here. I don't really have anything laid out for you guys, so I am just going to we're just going to go over this. This is via Fantasy Pros. I'm just going to try to go over some of the main ones. I don't really care about Chase Edmonds, to be honest. He's receiving high praise from the offense coordinator. I guess good for him. Justin Houston signed with the Panthers. That's a little bit, it's defensive, not really fantasy football related as far as the offense goes, but that's good to know. So Kenny McIntosh, he's out a couple weeks with his knee, so it's really looking like the Seahawks may have to end up they might end up going out and getting one of these free agent running backs. Charbonnet's back. He's back from the shoulder. But you still got Kenneth Walker, who's supposed to be the starter. He's still out with the groin. They haven't really said much about him lately. Maybe we'll get more information on him tomorrow. But you got Kenny McIntosh. Remember, he was the guy out of Georgia. I believe he won a couple of national titles, if I'm correct. But McIntosh is kind of a receiving back. He's not much of a between the tackles guy. So yeah, it says right here, Fantasy Impact, Seahawks have now lost McIntosh, Kenny Walker, and Zach Charbonnet during training camp. So they do have DJ Dallas. They signed Sharodrick Thompson. That's the guy out of Texas Tech. He hasn't really done much, though. Obviously, I don't know if this is his rookie year or not. Even if it is, I don't think he's really much competition for maybe like Charbonnet and Walker, obviously. But if they can't stay healthy, maybe they go out and get somebody. Maybe they go sign somebody off of, off the free agency market. So guys that would come to mind would be like Zeke. Kareem Hunt would actually be really the guy who really comes to mind, potentially. Or even Leonard Fournette. Well, who knows? So Michael Mayer not practicing Sunday. I don't really have anything invested in Michael Mayer this year. He's like one of the rookie tight ends that I have not been drafting at all. Likely he tweaked something yesterday is what this says. Of course, they don't say anything about what it is. The bigger news of the week, or at least of today so far, is this news. This happened obviously probably 12 hours ago. Josh Jacobs receiving interest from the Chiefs and the Broncos. Jacobs is receiving interest from the AFC West rivals, Denver Broncos, Kansas City Chiefs. Should his franchise tag be rescinded? There are several options on the table for the Raiders, among them including Jacobs returning, a reworked one-year deal, and Vegas rescinding the tag, which would make Jacobs a free agent. So, this is a very interesting. I'll tell you, man. The stuff that's going on with the running backs this year, it's so crazy. I've only been doing this YouTube stuff for a little while now, but I've been heavily involved in the off season, as far as preparing for my fantasy football drafts over the last few years. And even back whenever I was in high school, which if you guys don't know, I graduated high school 2014, so I'm not too old, but I went to the military right after that for 4 years. So I still like kept up with the NFL for the most part. Like I've been keeping up with the NFL since I was a kid, since I was probably in middle school. And I don't remember any kind of off season like this for running backs, dude. It's crazy. And it'd be interesting to see if he gets traded. I'm still avoiding this guy. I don't care if he gets traded tomorrow. If he gets traded tomorrow, I would maybe have a little bit more optimism about, like, obviously the place, it depends on the place that he ends up and this and that, but this guy is not even in town as far as we know. I'm pretty sure he hopped a flight out of Vegas the day that he was supposed to go to training camp. I don't care what this guy's doing on the side. If he is even doing anything on the side, I would reckon that he probably is, but we have a guy here who is missing pretty much all training camp, all of the preseason, at least until something happens. And this guy's going to be so prone to getting hurt. I'm telling you guys right now, he's going to be so prone to getting hurt. I'm not touching this guy with a 10-foot pole, dude. He's going to be so prone to getting hurt. Oh, I do have the music on, but it's not playing. Hold on, let me turn the music on real quick. I apologize for that. There's music. So this guy's gonna be prone to getting hurt. He's gonna, if this guy doesn't show up until like the last day, even if he does like show up and then they end up moving him or whatever, obviously the sooner the better for him if they end up moving him, but if this doesn't happen until like mid-August or even late August, I'm more worried if they were to move him, say, the end of August than they would right now. You know what I mean? At least he's got maybe like 4 weeks to kind of prepare if they move him, say, tomorrow, which probably won't happen. But with all the carries that he had, or all the total touches that he had, almost 400 total touches, we've been over the history of guys who've touched, had that many touches in a year prior, and then going into the next year, what they've been able to accomplish. You factor that on top of this guy missing all this time right now in training camp, and probably all the time in the preseason as well, pending a trade. I'm not touching this guy at all. This guy's an injury waiting to happen. Yo, Zion, what's going on, man? How's it going? We're just talking about Josh Jacobs right now and how vulnerable he is going to be to getting hurt, because I mean, this is nice. If he were to like land in my Chiefs, I would. One, you might want to start. I'll tell you right now, I think like the Chiefs have been reported to be interested in Taylor and in Jacobs. This should not make you feel very good if you're Isaiah Pacheco owner. This just tells you that the Chiefs, like, and I've been saying this, dude. Pacheco's not the guy. Pacheco is not the guy in that backfield. He's a 7th round rookie last year who outplayed Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm also hearing and seeing news about Clyde Edwards-Helaire being potentially the number 1 running back in training camp this year. And so I've been saying this, man. I've been saying this to my buddies who they're talking about Pacheco this year, and I was telling them, like, dude, I don't think he is the guy. He's not he provided good efficiency for us last year. Well, he beat out Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who was playing bad. But as far as being like the guy in Kansas City, he's not. There's a reason why they use Jerick McKinnon in that offense, and even Clyde Edwards-Helaire to a degree, whenever he's healthy. Like, Pacheco is a dude who provided for us last year. The Chiefs are glad that he was there, but when push comes to shove, If they get their hands on Jacobs or Taylor, that guy's out. He's out. They will replace him in a heartbeat with one of those guys because they know that he's a 7th rounder that they drafted out of Rutgers last year, bro. He's not Josh Jacobs. He's definitely not Jonathan Taylor. So if they could get their hands on one of those guys, they will replace him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I don't think he'd be a running back one overall, but if he goes to the Chiefs, it's a solid spot. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are probably going to still use a little bit of a 2 or 3 headed monster if they get one of these guys, but at the same time, like, Pacheco's only good because he's in our offense. Let's just put it that way. I don't think he's as good of a running back as what people think he is. This guy he's a guy that you give him the ball. He's a downhill runner. He's a downhill runner who is going to thump you. But as far as the skill set of running between the tackles and having the skill set of like a Breece Hall or like a Saquon Barkley, he doesn't have that skill set. He's not as shifty as those guys. He's not as laterally quick as those guys. He's kind of like Tyler Algier, where he's just kind of a basic thumping running back, 220 pounds, that you just give him. He's kind of like an old-fashioned running back, where you just give him the ball and just give him as many blockers as you can and let him run downhill. Plus, how often do the Chiefs run the ball anyways? They will run the ball more if they get somebody like a JT. I promise you that. Like if they had a healthy JT or a healthy Josh Jacobs, they would run the ball a little bit more than what you think, and they would probably be a little bit more efficient. But with their current running back room with Pacheco, McKinnon, and Clyde, and who knows, I keep hearing things about Clyde being the guy to potentially win the #1 spot back on the running back depth chart room this year again. So I don't know, man. I'm skeptical of Pacheco. I've done a couple drafts over the last couple days, and Pacheco's fallen. Like, he's fallen into like round 8 every single time. So Garrett Wilson likely returning to practice soon. Expected to make a limited return to practice Tuesday, then full participant in joint practice. This is good news. They got joint practices coming up. This is gonna be intense. We're gonna see all kinds of video of like guys getting into fights and stuff the next couple weeks with these joint practices. This is good news. I wasn't really worried about Garrett Wilson to begin with. It's a low ankle sprain. He's gonna be fine. When it comes to guys missing maybe like a week's worth of time, I wouldn't be as worried about receivers as much as like running backs. Should just sign Elliott or Cook. Great for red zone, helps that offense get away from the passing so much. Cheaper too. Yeah, I kind of find it, I don't find it weird that the Chiefs are interested in JT and Jacobs, because I don't know if the Raiders would do that, though. The Raiders would never do that. Well, you know what? I say they wouldn't do that. They would do it because they are kind of stupid. Their organization, they make so many mistakes. The reason why I say the Raiders, they shouldn't trade Jacobs within the division, because it's going to come back to bite them. More than likely, he's going to have a bunch of success with the Chiefs. The Chiefs are just going to throttle. He's going to get his revenge on the team. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a good look for the Raiders. But at the same time, the Raiders have made a trade with the Chiefs in many occurrences over the years, the past few years. So I don't know why they would do it, but if I was the Raiders owners, I would never trade within the division, especially if it was a guy that I thought was pretty good. Even if they were on bad terms with him, I would trade him outside of the division. You know, I'm not going to let the Chiefs or the Broncos, a team that's our arch rival, you know, benefit from the guy that we're letting go. I would trade him outside of the division every single time. But the Raiders will do something like that because they're stupid. But I mean, they're one of the worst franchises, I think, in the NFL. As far as the franchises that have been around for a long time, the Raiders are like one of the worst. It's because their ownership. Ever since Al Davis was gone, his son he's terrible. What would you trade to get Jacobs? You talking about fantasy or you talking about real life? First round question mark. Are you talking about fantasy or are you talking about real life? Zion, you gotta tell me. If I was the Chiefs and I wanted, no, they're not gonna give up a first round. They're gonna give up like a fourth rounder, a third rounder at the highest, maybe. I doubt it if they would even give away that. Real life, yeah. They're not giving up a first rounder, bro. No, that's not the running back market nowadays, dude. They're gonna give up like a third or a fourth. They may not even give up that. Who knows? I would say a third or a fourth though, if I had to put a price tag on it. Or they'll give them a couple of players maybe that maybe, Russell Wilson, Broncos stars expected to play preseason opener. I'm excited for this. I want to watch this game. I'm hoping that this game is on my local TV. If not, I will find a way to watch it or watch the highlights of this game because I want to see Javonte as well. So you got starters playing. They probably won't play much. They'll play like a series or two is what I'm guessing, or maybe like a quarter. Let's see if it says how much time they're going to play here. So this is Friday, so this is coming up. This is about 5 days away. I want to see what Javonte looks like because he's going to play as well. Well, I think they were saying Javonte was going to play in the second preseason game. So we might have to wait till next week for Javonte. But I still do want to see what the Broncos offense kind of looks like. See how Russ looks. And see how much time they play. Obviously, they probably won't play that much. They'll probably play like a couple series or maybe one quarter. We'll see. I'm not sold on Rick Williams recovering so fast from multiple ligament tear. P. Reynolds, dude, I don't know, dude. I'm so confused. There's no way he's 100. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'm in the same boat that you are, bro. I've been seeing all this news. I've been trying to cover as much of it as possible. Obviously, try to go live a little bit more this week. I do gotta, I do have days where I gotta work and stuff, but I don't know, dude. It's just like every report that's coming out, it's like this guy is good to go. He is like Adrian Peterson from back when he ran for 2,000 yards after, you know what I mean? They're not saying that, but it just seems like that. Like all the news is so positive. And they're like, this guy was good, and he's doing this, and he's ahead of Bree. I don't think he's ahead of, like, and this is what I gotta, like, for those people who watch me, who listen to me, and I know I'm relatively new in the fantasy community as far as YouTube goes and stuff, but I'm telling you guys right now, don't buy in. Like, everybody overreacts to all these reports that we go through. Everybody overreacts to them. Breece Hall is probably way more ahead of schedule than somebody like Javonte. I would guarantee it. I would put money on it. The Jets are taking a different approach, and probably the smarter approach, in my opinion, to dealing with Breece versus the Denver Broncos dealing with Javonte. Javonte, I'm telling you right now, because let's just break it down. Breece Hall and Javonte both have not probably had full contact practice. Okay, neither one of them. Breece is still on the PUP list. Okay, he's gonna be coming off either this week or next week. Probably next week, if I had to guess. You wonder if it's all smoke and mirrors for a different reason. I don't know what is it, but it sounds too good to be true. Yeah. If he does play, he won't be the same, I bet, all year. Yeah, I would rather have Hall too, dude. Even though Hall, I'm telling you right now, I know exactly what they're going to do with Hall. And this Dalvin Cook news about him maybe not going to the Jets, because I've seen some things and I've obviously seen some reports. They're not on the same course as far as like what Cook's role would be within the offense, because they know Breece Hall is going to beat Cook out. They want to feature Breece Hall in the season. And so Cook, obviously, I don't think Cook is cool with that. This news right here about Jeff Wilson headed to the locker room on Saturday. Maybe we don't know the extent of his injury. This could open the door a little bit for somebody like Dalvin Cook to maybe, because you got to think Miami's the other kind of running mate as far as the two teams in the running. You get the Jets, you get the Dolphins kind of top of the list. So this could open the door for Cook, I think. This could open the door for Miami to maybe give him, to try to get maybe a little bit closer to that dollar value that he's looking for now that this happens. Because this is all it takes, man. And this is why Cook hasn't signed anywhere. And once again, man, Cook is a little bit older. I don't think he's been practicing, right? Because he's not on a team. And so he's going to be, I think, a little bit susceptible to injury this year as well, to a degree. It just depends on how long he waits before he signs with a team, I guess. If he doesn't end up signing until like the beginning of the season, because maybe, or like after week 1, because maybe, you gotta think, week 1 and week 2, there's always injuries. There's always guys going down like that. And so now it could happen also, like right now, you see Wilson got hurt Saturday. We don't know the extent of the injury, but if he's down for a significant time, this could open the door for Cook. Just like if Ramondre got hurt in New England, say like this week, which knock on wood that doesn't happen, but or you know, you look up at Seattle with all the guys in Seattle that are getting hurt, that could open the door for Cook as well, because now these teams are going to maybe be more obligated to go out and get a free agent running back and actually maybe up the pay for that guy, because they're like, oh my god, we need this guy. We got guys that are dropping down left and right, you know, getting hurt in practice. We have to go get somebody like Dalvin Cook. We're gonna maybe bump the pay up that we originally said that we would give him, and then maybe he'll take it. You want my opinion? What is it, man? What do you want my opinion? So going back to like Breece, man, I think Breece, the Jets are taking the right approach. Okay, they're gonna bring him off the PUP list probably next week. Okay, so not this week, but next week, and then they're gonna work him in. He might play a little bit in the last preseason game. We'll see. They're probably gonna like really not give him the touches that we were looking for the first 3 or 4 weeks. The first 3 or 4 weeks, they're gonna ease him back in. He's gonna get 10 to 12 touches probably per each game, and then probably by week 4, week 5, week 6, somewhere in that area, I expect him to kind of be full go. These guys on Sleeper I've been talking to tell me to buy into James Cook. It's a perfect RB23 for round. They say his efficiency was better than Eckler. I just don't see it. I do like James Cook to a degree. It just depends on the league format. I'll give you guys I'll give you a perfect example about James Cook. He is very efficient. Okay, James Cook is very efficient. Actually, he is, according to the stats. That's not a lie that those guys are telling you. He was very, very efficient, and he's really a good efficient running back that can catch the ball. Obviously, James Cook is probably he could be one of those next, like he could be like the next Eckler type of guy. He is one of those candidates to be that guy. Now, if you're like, let's go to the best ball league. Okay, you're talking about underdog leagues, right? Let me I gotta log into Underdog. But if you know the way to Underdog scores, right? Underdog is not a very friendly scoring format as far as like bonus points and 100-yard game points. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get any points for a guy going over 100 yards, whether it's receiving or rushing. You don't have any bonus points for big plays. I have a league where you get like double points for running backs who score receiving touchdowns, and you know, basically I've double points for any position that scores out of position scoring. So if a quarterback runs the ball in for a touchdown, it's double points. Instead of 6 points for a touchdown, it's like 12. I have bonus points for running backs who catch touchdowns. Instead of 6, it's like 12. And if I was like in a league like that, which I am, I have one of my leagues that's like that, I'm going to be probably pretty high on James Cook. James Cook's going to be a guy that I'm trying to snag in like round 6 or 7. Yeah. But in like best ball, if we're talking about underdog, where it's like you get half a point per catch, pretty basic. You know, you like really an underdog. You want a guy who can run between the tackles, that has good touchdown upside. So you talk about, like I said, you talk about like we look at their scoring here. Look at the scoring here. It's pretty basic, right? You know, 0.1 per rush yard, receiving yard, touchdowns only 6. It's only half. It's not even full PPR. It's half PPR. So that's kind of another reason to maybe stay a little bit away from like receiving backs that can only receive and this and that. What I'm saying is basically like in this format, I'm not really high on James Cook, but in my other league where a guy can. Where we have guys who can score double points for, like I'm higher on James Cook in that way. Yeah, I mean, like that's the only league that I have like points like that. There's also some other things about that league that I don't like. Our defenses score a ton of points in that league, which is something I don't really like. Some of this other related news, Ravens quarterback struggled. Lamar Jackson struggled in Saturday's practice. I read into this. I read like a story into this of what was going on. They were doing like 3rd and long situations, I think. And this is why, you know, combined for the Ravens quarterbacks combined for 9 interceptions. 4 were Jackson's. I wouldn't take too much. I'm not worried about this at all. This is like another piece of news that people are going to overreact to. Like, oh my god, Lamar sucks. Like, he threw 4 picks. I think they were doing like 3rd and 15 scenarios. They were doing basically 3rd and long, you know, stuff. The defense, you got to think it's the Ravens defense too. He's practicing against his own defense. He's pretty good. Even though they're a little bit younger on, you know, I think in the secondary, they're still a decent defense. Obviously, probably really, really good coached as well. I wouldn't look too much into this. Is nothing. I would not look into this at all. I wouldn't be like, oh my god, I can't draft Lamar now because of this. I wouldn't even pay attention to that at all. A lot of this stuff is, I don't know, stuff that's like defensive stuff. Charles Omenihu, this guy's actually on the Chiefs, suspended 6 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy, domestic violence stuff. I don't know, dude. I don't even understand how these guys get stuff like this, bro. This is kind of a huge hit too, because this is the guy we signed in the offseason from the Niners. He's a pretty good defensive lineman. They're having trouble with Chris Jones's contract right now as well, who's still out, who's still holding out. This kind of it's a little bit of a blow to the defense, especially if they can't get something done with Chris Jones. It's not really fantasy related, but unless you have like defenses in your league and you're looking at maybe getting the Chiefs defense, obviously this is I mean, it's a little concerning. I just don't know. I don't know how these guys get this crap, bro. Like how do you get domestic violence stuff, bro? I mean, I'm married, and like there's like no chance of that happening. There's literally no chance of that happening, because one, I wouldn't hit a woman or anything like that, or, you know, I don't know what he did, but he obviously something, you know. It doesn't go into the details of what I've already looked it up though. It's like a domestic violence dispute. So I don't understand how these guys get that crap, dude. Like, be smarter. Quit being stupid. Like, this is just stupid shit, dude. Like, grow the fuck up, man. I'm telling you, I don't get it, dude. Grow up. We went over the Kamara stuff. Only being suspended 3 games. Remember, I said 1 to 2 games. That's what I thought it would be. I thought it would be 4 at the most. So we were pretty close. I expected it by last week, which it came back, you know, it came down Friday, which, like I said, I mean, I'm not a mind reader or anything, but I did expect it to happen. And then once we got the news of Goodell meeting with him on Wednesday, I thought it was for sure we were going to get it before the end of the week. We didn't get the Dalvin Cook news that I predicted. I thought Dalvin Cook would sign with somebody by the end of the week last week as well. We might have to wait a little bit on that. But like I said, going back to Dalvin Cook, you're just going to have to, as soon as somebody, like I said, you got the Seahawks, Walker still out. You got the Kenny McIntosh injury. You got the injury Jeff Wilson down in Miami. All it's going to take is maybe an injury here or there, and then a team maybe being a little bit decimated at running back, because there's also injury news of A-Chain as well. Right here, A-Chain. Day-to-day undisclosed injury. He was reportedly in street clothes during Saturday's open practice, was walking gingerly. So you factor this in with the Jeff Wilson leaving practice Saturday. This could open the door for Dalvin Cook to go to Miami, which is where we wanted him to go all along. So he stays away from Ramondre. He stays away from Breece Hall. So this is, I'm not saying this is good. I'm not happy that these guys are injured, but you know, it may be good for my Breece Hall, my Ramondre shares. Hope Walker is okay. Mitchell, I've been mocking them. He needs to go there. I don't think there's there's a chance he could go to the Niners, but I don't think so. He does need to go to Miami though. Miami would be the perfect place. He's from Miami, or he's from Florida anyways. He played college ball at Florida State. Just go to Miami, Dalvin. Dalvin, if you're watching this, just go to Miami, bro. Stay away from my Breece Hall shares, my Ramondre Stevenson shares. Walker is in mystery, bro. I don't know. Here's the thing, bro. It's like in my keeper league, I have Trevor Lawrence for $6, which is pretty cheap in my auction league. I'm going to keep him, obviously. I can only keep 3 players. I have Breece Hall, Kenneth Walker, and then I have Chris Olave. I'm probably going to keep Chris Olave because he's pretty cheap. He's like $16. And then I got to make a decision on either Breece or Walker. The problem is it's a pretty easy decision. I would take Walker every single time because Walker's like $22 cheaper than Breece. But Walker's got this injury that we don't know anything about. And I do like Breece. I think, although Breece is a little expensive compared to my Walker price tag in that league, I do think I would be getting Breece. Like if I ended up keeping Breece, it would be a reasonable price. He could probably go for a little more or a little less, depending on the news at the time of the draft. But I think the news is only going to continue to get better about him. So really, I think I could get, like if I kept Breece Hall for $35 in my auction league, I think it's a reasonable price. And so I don't know, man. I'm kind of torn on who I'm going to keep between those two. Right now, I have Breece pretty much set as my keeper. But I'm trying to, I don't know, because we don't know what's going on with Kenneth Walker. It's so weird. Like I said, I don't understand it. I'll show you guys. You know, it was like we went over this the other day as well. Yeah, these 2 pieces of news right here. This is why you can't trust this crap, man. And this is what I've been telling you guys. It's tough to trust some of these pieces of news that come out. And one was from Adam Schefter, the other was from Field Yates. Pretty notable guys on ESPN. Charbonnet out indefinitely with a shoulder injury per head coach Pete Carroll. Out indefinitely, and he's already back. Like he's already back. Like he was back at practice, I believe, Friday, right? Or he was back at practice today. And then you got Walker out for a while with a groin injury, which groin injury is not something to overlook. That's kind of like a hamstring issue where it can linger throughout the year. Especially at the running back position, because they're always running and cutting and moving and shifting and this and that. And so, but it's like they were saying Charbonnet was going to be out indefinitely, and then now he's already back. When out indefinitely means like he's going to be out like weeks. That's what I usually get from that. That means they like don't have a timetable on him. He's going to be out a little more than maybe like a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis. And then they say out for a while for Walker, and he's still out. So it's like, I don't know. They're just misleading people, man. I swear. Some of the terminology that they're using, they're misleading people, in my opinion. And that's like one example right there. So look, I think if you go Walker Sharp, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. Whether it's redraft, best ball, auction, whatever it is. I think if you go and get Walker and Charbonnet, even with the news right now about them kind of being a little banged up, I think you're going to be okay. I wouldn't worry about it too much. Now, if I had one or the other, I would be a little cautious. Obviously, the news for Charbonnet is a little bit better right now than it is for Walker. But yeah, I think if you have both of those guys, you're fine. You're gonna be okay. So, all right, let me see. Is there anything else that we need to go over here? Let me just scroll through real quick. Braxton Berrios is looking like the number 3 receiver. I don't know. I'm not really interested. That's cool and all, but not really interested in that. Marlon Mack inks a deal with Arizona. I guess it's something to monitor, but I guess he's a guy who's going to be on waivers for the most part. We talked about this. He's building new chemistry with AJ Brown, whatever that means. We talked about Beasley last time, I believe, on Friday. Most of this we've already talked about. Yeah, this guy right here, I don't know if I really hit on this Friday. This is good news for these rookie tight ends right here, Musgrave and Laporta. I'm telling you right now, Laporta's gonna be a guy to look out for. I think Laporta's gonna be a guy to look out for. Musgrave potentially too. And Musgrave you can get pretty much at the end of round 17 and beginning of round 18 in a best ball draft. Appreciate all the updates. Helps me out since my drafts are all starting September 1st, 2nd. Yeah, I have a draft August 29th. Well, technically it's not my draft, but I have a draft that kind of coincides with the other draft, so I show up to it and watch. I'm not really in that draft, but then I have a draft the 4th and a draft on September 6th, like literally the night before the Chiefs game. And then I also have Smitty's draft. I have a draft for the Marsman, which I don't know when that's going to start. It's going to start here in like a week or two though. And we will probably live stream that one and see what we can do with that league. I don't know where I'm picking yet, and so be real interesting to see what goes on in that draft. And of course we got all of me, Smitty, and then obviously 10 other guys who watch his content and stuff. So it's going to be a snipe fest and everything else. It's going to be one we're going to have to kind of go with the flow on, prepare a little bit here and there, but kind of just go with the flow and take the value where it find the value and go with the flow, basically. I don't know when it is. He said it's going to be like mid-September, or not September, mid-August. So like, what, today's August 7th now? I want to say it's going to be like a week and a half, I'm guessing. I don't think I've gotten an email from him yet, so yeah, it's going to be real interesting. I'm hoping I get a decent pick. That's all I'm hoping for, man, because like I'm hoping to get like top 5 pick would be nice. Top 6, somewhere in there. It just depends. I don't really know what the format is of the draft. I'm guessing it's kind of like similar to what we do here on Underdog, would be my guess, but I'm not quite sure. Montgomery expected to be co-star with Jahmyr Gibbs. Yeah, they're talking about a 2-headed monster in the backfield. This is good news. I'm pretty high on David Montgomery. Here he is.
Players are going nuclear in 2023, dropping mushrooms on the competition. Draft as many nuclear players as you can to demolish other league members in fantasy football this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Montgomery. He's on this list for a reason. I think he was one of the good values back in like May, early June. Obviously, his ADP has risen since. Remember, I had a draft or two where I got him like 86 overall in best ball. Now he goes like 71, 72 on a consistent basis. He basically goes at the 6-7 turn, the end of round 6, beginning of round 7 turn almost every single time now in best ball. You say you kind of want pick number 12. Yeah, pick 12 is not a bad pick this year, I don't think either. You can go like a combination of 2 receivers. You can go St. Brown and Garrett Wilson, or you could go like a St. Brown Barkley, which I wouldn't mind that. I'm starting to come around on Barkley to a degree. I am a little bit worried of a little bit of a touch drop off for him, but I think he could potentially be a little more efficient with his touches. Considering the offensive line is a little bit healthier this year, I believe. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But obviously injuries can occur at any point in time, and so we talked about Cooper Kupp being upgraded day to day. I expect some more Cooper Kupp news this week. I would say it's tough not to worry about this situation with the hamstring, man, because he's got the same thing. He's got the same thing as Keenan Allen last year. I looked it up. I don't know if they've actually like reported what his injury is, but I looked it up on Draft Sharks, and maybe Draft Sharks doesn't quite know. Like maybe they're lying to us, or maybe they already know and they just have, they put it out there, or nobody else has put it out there. But it's a grade 2 hamstring is what it says on Draft Sharks on the injury report. I'll show it to you guys so you guys know I'm not lying here. But I just find it interesting that nobody's really reported it. I don't understand why. All right, I'll pull this over so you guys can see this. I need to put this on my stream deck. All right, so Cooper Kupp's injury, and it's on the same leg. It's on the same leg as his ankle that he had surgery on. So this is the ankle. Remember, November 13th of last year. Pedal ankle sprain, grade 3. Missed the last 8 games because of it. Had surgery on it in the offseason, which is, not a big deal, but he had surgery on it. He's currently only a medium risk, but if we go down here and look, and I think they got this date wrong. This should be August 1st instead of September 1st. This is when it happened, was August 1st. I think this is a typo, but they have it on here. Thigh hamstring strain grade 2. He came up a little bit in a red zone route. He should return for week 1, but this is a grade 2, not a grade 1. So at least according to this, you don't think he should go in the first round with this injury, in your opinion? Yeah, I agree to a degree. I kind of agree. I mean, if I have pick 10, 11, or 12, it's going to be tough for me not to take this guy if he's there. If he fell to the end of the first round. I wouldn't mind if somebody took him with the first pick, if they had the 12th overall pick. Like if they had the 12th overall pick and they took him in the first round, I wouldn't mind, because you have back-to-back picks. You know what I mean? You could substitute him out with the guy that you picked in with the first pick of round 2 and be like, oh, he's technically a round 2. You know what I mean? This is the same thing that Kupp had last year, and they're both old, technically. Kupp's what, 30 this year? I think what's Keenan Allen gonna be? Keenan Allen's gonna be 30 or 31. They've both been in the league. I mean, obviously Keenan Allen's been in the league a little longer, but they're both the same age. The recovery process for somebody at that age too it's a little different than somebody like Breece Hall, who's 21, 22 years old. So that, with not as much wear and tear. Let me look here. I'm looking at my rankings. I have all of their ages on here. So Cup's going to be 30. Keenan Allen's going to be 31, actually. So Keenan Allen's technically like about a year older. And I think Cup just turned 30 years old too. So, but if we go to, like, I'll show you guys Keenan Allen's injury report as well. It's the same thing. And this could be a compensation injury too, because it's on right here. You guys see it. It's on the same side. It's on the same side as that ankle. And a compensation injury means like it's a second injury basically, or it's a secondary injury that is caused by a prior injury basically. Am I saying you know, it may not be the case that the reason why he got this is because you gotta think with the ankle, right? Or if it's like a knee injury. So let's use a running back for example with a knee injury. Usually when they come off of a knee injury and then they have surgery on it, this and that, blah, blah, blah. Maybe they were out 8 months, you know, after the surgery to try to recover this and that. But if they come back too soon, you know, from the surgery, you got to think after a player has surgery, they're not in the gym every day. They're not working out every day, whether it's doing football workouts or even gym workouts as far as strengthening the muscles around that particular injury. Whenever you have surgery, it's just like having a cast on a broken arm or something. You don't get the cast taken off for a couple of months, so during that whole time that you have the cast on, you're not doing anything. Your muscles are gonna be probably a little smaller, and you need to build them back up. And it's no different with a surgery. With a surgery off of like an ACL, for instance, for a running back, it's going to be probably a couple months before they get back into the gym to where they're building strength around that knee. Or the ankle, for instance, in Cooper Kupp. He probably wasn't walking on that leg much, and if he wasn't running or doing any workouts on it, so he's got to build the strength up around his lower leg, or even probably that whole side of his leg. And then if he's not really fully recovered yet, you know, he hasn't had enough time between the surgery and the getting his body back in shape, he could be cutting off of that ankle a little bit differently than what he was prior to the injury. And what I mean by cutting differently off the ankle, he could be taking shortcuts to routes instead of actually running a route 100%. Maybe he's running it to where basically what I'm saying is, like, instead of cutting off the ankle a certain way, maybe he's doing it differently, and it's causing him to use the muscles in his legs a little more to compensate for him doing that. And so that can cause you to overuse your hamstring, cause you to overuse your calf muscles or something like that. Maybe you get a calf strain from doing that. Or in this case, he got a hamstring strain because of it. So whenever he's running routes differently, it's no different than a running back. You look at like Dobbins last year. Of course, he had some scar tissue that had to get cleaned up. But you look at these running backs that come off of the ACL or the MCL, ACL, and everything else to go with it, you know, they end up making cuts differently off that knee to where they're using the muscles around the knee a little more to try to make up for not maybe bending that knee a certain degree or cutting off that knee a certain degree. And so they're going to get secondary injuries from doing that. So let me ask you this, since we're talking about it. I did redraft last night, 10 spot. I took Amon-Ra. Yeah, I don't mind that. I would take Amon-Ra over Kupp. Now, if Kupp fell to me in the second round and I had Amon-Ra at 10, and then it would be the 15th pick or whatever, and he was there, yeah, I would take him. Yeah, it's not wild. No, I would do it. I've taken St. Brown in the first round a ton of times. I think St. Brown is a first round guy. I think he's gonna. He goes like 12, 13 almost every time. Like, usually the person who gets a 12th pick in redraft, especially the best ball leagues, they're always taking St. Brown. with their first pick of the second round. Usually, I mean, it's pretty often. If any player comes back too early, it just reminds me that organization is bad and playing scared. Let them rest. I love how Hall is being handled. Yeah. Look, here's the deal about Hall too, and I'm not gonna lie, dude. I think I'm gonna keep Hall in my auction league. I'm gonna pay the $35 for him. I'm telling everybody right now, though, especially if you guys watch this and you guys want to try to hammer me on this, you're going to have to be patient with Hall. They're going to ease him into action. I don't think he's going to be a very viable look. And if he is, he is. But let's just play it safe. I don't think he's going to be a viable option the first 3 weeks at running back. I think there's a chance that he maybe scores a touchdown. Hopefully in one or two of those games, the first 3 or 4 weeks. But aside from that, you're probably not going to see the fantasy production that you're hoping to get out of Breece Hall. But I think come week 5, I would say about week 5-ish at the earliest. Come week 5, I think he's going to be full go. Hopefully he turns back into the player that we've seen him be. I think there's a chance he could probably be that guy again. You know, it's unfortunate that we're kind of taking this gamble with Breece Hall. For those of us who want to own him or who do own him, we're taking a gamble by hoping that the Jets do right by him. They ease him in the action, and then say week 5 he comes back and he's full go. He's getting 20 touches a game. Let's just hope that's the case. And I'm kind of banking on that because I think it's a possibility. I think it's a good possibility that's kind of how it plays out. And it's also probably good in the sense that they're doing this, because if they don't do this and they rush him, I'd rather them do this than rush him back too soon and then he gets hurt again and then we're screwed, you know? So the fact that they're doing this right now with Breece Hall, it makes me more optimistic about how they're handling the situation and like more optimistic about his fantasy upside. Like I said, dude, Breece Hall didn't really do anything the first 2 or 3 weeks last year because they were trying to, they had a split backfield. He got us about 10 to 12 points in a couple of those games, but he wasn't doing anything crazy like he was after week 3. Okay, from week 4 to week 7 up until the injury, he was going nuts. He was the best running back in football, arguably. And probably the best fantasy running back in football. And he was going to be a top 5 guy. So this is Keenan Allen. Like I said, you go back and look last year, thigh hamstring strain grade 2, dude. And it lingered all year, if you guys remember. It lingered all year. And this is why I'm kind of worried about Kupp, dude. And look, this happened to Keenan Allen last year. Last year he was 30 years old. Cooper Kupp's 30 years old this year. Now I will say Keenan Allen has a little bit more. He's a little bit more wear and tear because he's been in the league longer. Kupp was like a late bloomer who came in at like 24 years old, I believe. And even then he didn't really play that much. So I'm going to go to my sleeper league here for you guys. Let's go back over Breece Hall here. So obviously he's on my team here, but I mean, when you go back and look at Breece Hall, like I said, he didn't do much for us the first 4 weeks. Pittsburgh, he did okay. He did score a touchdown, but if you guys notice, what happened after week 3? Aside from obviously a little bit of increase in the snap percentage, look at the attempts for rushing: 17, 18, 20. He would have had 20 again in this game probably if he didn't get hurt. But the first 3 weeks, it was only 6, 7, and 8. He didn't even have double-digit touches as far as a rusher. And then as soon as week 4 comes around, there it is, 17 carries, 18, 20. A little bit less involvement in the passing game, but I just think that was because of the quarterback situation, to be honest. The reason why he got more opportunity, well, he only got one opportunity in this game, but I believe it was this game as well. I know Flacco was the quarterback for the Cleveland game. I don't know who the quarterback was for the Cincy game. It might have been Flacco for this game too. But even with the 2 targets, 2 catches, I mean, he can be an efficient running back as a pass catcher. He's got the pass catching skills. I'm kind of glad. I hope Cook goes to Miami, man. At the same time, if Cook doesn't go to Miami, let's say Cook goes to the Jets, I'm not really worried about Brees. I'm probably going to let him go. I'm going to let Brees go at that point. I'm not going to keep him in this league, but I'm going to try to redraft him because I think I could get him for cheaper. Cook going to the Jets is going to drop the price tag for Brees Hall. Okay? The price tag is going to drop. I'm going to be more inclined to go get him because I do think at the end of the day, they're going to ease him in. They're going to ease him in against Buffalo, Dallas, New England, which is probably good because these are 3 pretty good defenses. I think by the time the Kansas City game comes around, he could end up being kind of a full go at that point. Denver, Philly, then they got the bye. I would fully expect, like, after the bye, after the bye, week 7, this should be the full go Brees Hall right here after bye week 7. So, like, from week 8, 9, 10, all the way down, I would expect to have 2022 Brees Hall back. But there's a good chance he could provide for you, say, week 4, week 5, and week 6. That wouldn't be out of the question, in my opinion. So, and I think he's further ahead of schedule than Javonte is, and they're just, we just don't know because they're not saying anything. He's still on the PUP list, blah, blah, blah. I think this is just really an example of a team that's taken the right avenue with the running back who's coming off the ACL versus another team like the Broncos who are being very... what's the word for it? Very irresponsible with how they're handling it. So that's my opinion. I think the Broncos are just being irresponsible. I think the Jets are doing right by Brees Hall. I do think he's I don't know, dude. I can't imagine he's not further ahead than Javonte. I don't buy it, dude. I just don't buy it. All right, let's see what they got here. Oh, they don't have any more of the Hound Dogs, huh? The Hound Dogs are gone. I guess we will do a Best Ball Mania. We'll do one more Best Ball Mania probably for the year, to be honest. This will probably be my last one of these I do. I can't believe they don't have the Puppy 3s out yet. All right, let's jump into a Best Ball Mania 4. Here we go. We're waiting on 9 people though. We could be waiting a minute. Could be waiting a minute. I did kind of update my rankings a little bit here. You guys see the rankings right below me here. I did update my rankings a little bit. I changed some guys around to a degree. I moved Hall back a little bit. I could move him back up, a little bit depending on the news here. I'm trying to give you guys what I think would be the best rankings, even though I do have my biases towards certain people. I will say I haven't really touched my receiver rankings much. I need to. That's the one area I didn't really touch. I would move Kupp back from 3 to like probably 6 or 7 right now with this injury. But yeah, so he's probably a little bit high on my rankings right now. But everywhere else, I'm pretty. Like, I didn't really change the quarterbacks much. I think the quarterbacks, and I'm just going to kind of go with that. I think that's where a lot of those guys belong. You can maybe debate Aaron Rodgers being outside the top 10 this year, but we'll have to wait and see. I think he could be a top 10, really a top 12 quarterback. So the receivers, I did adjust a little bit, but I probably need to move Cooper Kupp back. I did these changes before the Cooper Kupp injury, so tight ends, I did mess with the tight ends a little bit as well. We might be waiting. I might do a weekly. I'm not gonna wait for 8 people, man. It's gonna take forever. Let's see if the weeklies are filling up pretty fast. Let's try weekly winner. Okay, there's only 2 people left in the weekly, so we're gonna do a weekly winner here instead. I need to hopefully I get a decent pick here. We might try something different. I've obviously gone I've gone like Detroit and Charger players. I've done, I'm trying to think of the last one I did. I think the last one I did a little bit of a Kansas City stack to a degree. Grab my phone. I think last time I did a little bit of a Kansas City stack. Let me look here. Weekly winners. Got Chiefs. Got the Seattle guys. Ramondre. I did get Kelsey with that one as well. I want to go after some Philly guys, I think, this time. I might just start reaching on Philly guys, to be honest. I guess it just depends on what pick we get. I guess hopefully we get the like towards the back of the draft, if that's the case, because I could just take 2 guys pretty early, to be honest. I could take Hurts early, Smith early, or AJ Brown. See, this was a decent team, but I didn't get the guys I wanted with Hurts. I got Hurts, but I didn't get the guys with him. That one I got Cooper Kupp and I got St. Brown in a lot of these. We're waiting on one person. All right, we are in. We are officially in, and we get the first pick. What do you know? Oh my gosh. All right, so we're not going to go with that strategy then, since we get the first pick. It's about time they give me the first pick, to be honest. It's been forever, I feel like, since I've had the first pick. All right, we're going to go pretty easy. We're going to go JJ here. I need to go get a water bottle real quick. I'm gonna go get a water bottle as soon as I make this pick. We're gonna go JJ. I'm gonna try to get some kind of Minnesota stack here. All right, I'll be right back. Let me go get a water bottle, and then we'll see what everybody's doing here. All right, got a water bottle, we got a banana. Probably gonna go to the gym here in a little bit. My gym opens up in like 15 minutes. So Cooper Kupp went 6th overall. I'm actually kind of surprised. I figured he would go maybe a little later in this style. So we could go week 3. Minnesota's at home against the Chargers. That could be a really high scoring game, obviously, for, you know, obvious reasons. Then we got Jacksonville at home against Houston. We also got Dallas against Arizona that week. You got Pittsburgh against Vegas. Week 14, I believe they have the Raiders. Right? And they're on the road. They're in Vegas, but Vegas, I mean, Vegas, it's a dome. It's going to be decent weather. So they're in Vegas week 14. We got Cincinnati at Indy, or Cincinnati at home against Indy. We got the Falcons at home against Tampa Bay that week. We got, let's see here. We got Kansas City and Buffalo. Trying to look for a decent matchup. I mean, Detroit, Chicago. At Chicago is not bad. That could be bad weather, though, in that game. I know week 16 they got Detroit. Holmes went. That kind of sucks. We were thinking about taking him. Chris Olave's on the board. Devontae Smith is on the board. Ridley's on the board. All right, Mark Andrews just went. We got back-to-back picks here. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna wait on running back a little bit here. I'm gonna go this guy. And I'm gonna take this guy as well. We're gonna go receivers here. We're gonna go late running back to a degree. It's gonna be a little bit late. This guy can have Taylor. We're not buying Taylor, bro. We're just not doing it. I'm gonna have to see a trade before where I can confidently tell you guys to go get Taylor. And I guess if you wanted to go Taylor, like right now, of course, this is a weekly winner, so I wouldn't really take him in a weekly winner. If it was a regular draft, I'm not going to say don't take Taylor in a regular draft, like in the 3rd round, but I wouldn't do it in a normal league. In best ball, it's different because you can do multiple best ball leagues. So I would maybe take him every now and then in a best ball league because you can get the value on him right now, say if he did get traded. So, whereas if he gets traded, you're not going to get the value anymore. The value's gone. He's going to move back up into the 2nd round. But, I'm not going to buy too much of him, and I really haven't. I'm not going to buy him in the weekly winners because the weekly, I'm just going to go for a specific week or two with a set, set number of guys here. So I think I'm going to go back to week 3. I'm going to look at week 3 because we got Jacksonville at home against Houston. Here we have our Vikings at home against the Chargers, which could be a high scoring game here as well. I'm going to be hard pressed obviously to get one of my quarterbacks here because in the weeklies the quarterbacks just fly off the freaking board. It seems like we do have Dallas at Arizona as well. We might try to go get Dak here. We'll see. There's a chance. This is the week they get 2 Monday Night Football games. Philly at Tampa Bay. Rams at the Bengals as well. You also got Detroit at home against Atlanta. It's a good matchup too. Not a whole lot of defense in that game, more than likely. I guess there's a chance that there could be, but I doubt it. And you got Baltimore at home against Indianapolis too that week. That could be a good game for Baltimore. Of course, Lamar's gone, Herbert's gone now. That kind of sucks. I was hoping maybe we would get Herbert. We will definitely get Kirk Cousins though. I'm hoping to get Trevor Lawrence obviously, or Joe Burrow. Maybe Joe Burrow falls. Well, wishful thinking. There he goes. There he goes. All right, so we just need to hope that these two guys don't take him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So Lawrence is the top guy on the board. His ADP is 53, so there's a chance he could fall, but I wouldn't hold my breath on it. This guy needs a receiver, so hopefully he takes a receiver here. I'm hoping that he does. Okay, he did. See, we're going to get Najee, Etienne, or Mixon as well. Looks like we're going to get Najee. They have the Raiders this week too. Yeah, Pittsburgh has the Raiders this week. That's awesome. So this is pretty easy for me. We're going to go Najee. And then we're going to take T-Law. Give us Trevor Lawrence as our first quarterback here. Let me move this over here. So this worked out pretty perfect for us. This worked out about as well as I was hoping it could. I don't mind getting Najee here. This is kind of a week 3 build. So week 3, we got Minnesota at home against the Chargers. We got Jefferson for that. We got Jacksonville at home against Houston. We got Lawrence and Ridley. We got Pittsburgh against the Raiders, who suck. So we got Najee for that. And then, you know, Philly's Monday night against Tampa Bay. So Smith, that's not bad. Tampa Bay's, I don't think their defense is going to be very good this year. So this is a good week 3 build so far. I like the players that I got and the teams that they're playing against for the most part. So we'll see what we can do. It helps when you have the number 1 overall pick and you get a couple guys to fall to you. I wouldn't have mind taking like Herbert, but Herbert, he goes at the end of round 3 here in this format. You know, Fields goes pretty early, so does Burrow. I mean, all these quarterbacks go pretty early in this specific contest because it pays to have a quarterback who's good. This is about as good as I could ask for, though, for the first 5 rounds, to be honest. I got elite receivers here. I got a good quarterback, a decent quarterback. He's not the greatest, but he's trending upwards, and I think he's going to be knocking on the door as far as a top 5 quarterback in fantasy in the coming year or years. Hopefully it's this year. And Najee Harris, I think, has a little bit of a bounce back season this year, to be honest. We'll probably go get his handcuff, though, just in case. Christian Kirk is still on the board. He'll probably go here in a minute. I was hoping to maybe get Kirk, but it is what it is. We're gonna miss out on him, but Alright, there goes Kirk. This guy's got Jacobs, Kirk, Herbert, Barkley, and Adams. He's got some Raiders players. Ooh. He's got some Raiders players.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
This guy's got 6 receivers, bro. Whoa. Diggs, St. Brown, Debo, Amari Cooper, McLaurin, Lockett. I mean, it's a decent 6 receivers, but I don't understand this strategy at all. He's going 0 RB, and he's going late quarterback too. All right, hopefully Pierce falls to us. It's gonna be close though. I don't know if we're gonna get him, to be honest. It's gonna be close. And they got took Montgomery pretty early. Holy cow. Goes to this guy should take another receiver here. There's a chance we might get Pierce. Could see 2 receivers go right here. There goes one. It could be another receiver right here. Godwin maybe. Mike Evans. Okay. So I'll take Pierce, and I will take. I'm glad I went and got receiver early. So I'm not a fan of the receivers that are on the board. Like Dotson, but I would also like a tight end right here. So I'm gonna take Pierce, and then we either go Goddard or we go. Do we go Goddard here with this Tampa Bay matchup? Or do we wait on like Freiermuth or somebody? You know what I mean? Who's Washington got? They got Buffalo. I'm gonna go ahead and take Goddard. Stack him with Devontae Smith. I'm liking this team, man. I'm liking this team. We got Houston. We got a Houston guy who's playing Jacksonville. So we got Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, and then we also got Dameon Pierce. We're gonna try to go get Tank Bigsby later on. We're gonna try to get probably Jaylen Warren, Najee's handcuff, and then we might even get we could even get Penny maybe. I know Swift just went right there. We had the opportunity to get Swift, but I think Pierce is a better running back for this format. And I really don't even think it's close, to be honest. So be cool if Dotson fell to us, but it's highly unlikely. We could go Kansas City is at home against Chicago. We try to get our hands on Sky Moore, maybe. Who the Broncos got this week? Miami. All right, Dotson just went. There's Brandon Cooks. I could go Charbonnet or like James Cook, maybe. Of course, I would go Kamara, but he's suspended for week 3. Let's go to week 4. Let's see what week 4's got in store for us. He's got Tampa. Yeah, he comes back for Tampa Bay. We got Phillies at home against Washington. Jacksonville has Atlanta. Jacksonville's got Atlanta. Houston got there at home against Pittsburgh. Okay. You know, week 4 could be it really could be yeah, that could be a place that we go to. Of course, never mind. Kamara just went. That's still a good value, man. A week in or round 8. I don't really like these 2 picks in Pittman and Gabe Davis, to be honest, though. That could be better. That could have been like one of these guys should have been. Well, Dotson went right here. I would have taken Tyler Lockett over Gabe Davis, like literally every single day of the week. Look at all these running backs that are coming off the board now. Evan Ingram's still on the board. We could take him too. Week 4, Indy's got LA in town. They got Baltimore that week. Okay. All right, Ingram stayed on the board for some reason. I think I'm going to take the value, go get another tight end. And then we're going to take I don't have to have these running backs that are on the board. I know I only have 2, but I don't have to have them. So I'm going to go Ingram. And then I'm going to take Kirk Cousins since I have JJ. I think that's what we're going to do. A little unorthodox here to only have 2 running backs still, but they're 2 decent ones in my opinion. And we can get, you know, like Cook is maybe a guy I wanted to take, or even Dalvin Cook at that point. You know, obviously Kamara, I would have taken him if he fell. Some of these guys that I wanted kind of already went. We could have taken Gibson or Penny or Dillon, but I don't know if it's a necessity for the. I don't know if it's a necessity for the weeklies, to be honest. I like having Cousins to pair with Jefferson in case he goes off. I like having Ingram as a second tight end, especially when I have Lawrence and Ridley already. A little bit of a Jacksonville stack. So Who knows? Maybe one of these running backs will fall to us again. If they do, we'll end up taking them. If not, we'll move on, you know. We got 3 good receivers. We could try to go get Nico Collins. He should be on the board. We could go get Zay Jones. We still have Tank Bigsby out there. We have Khalil Herbert out there as well, and Charbonnet. So, you know what I mean? Charbonnet, McKinnon, Herbert are still out there. Probably going to be there too by the time it comes back to our pick. One of those guys should be there by the time it comes back to our pick. 100%. I actually feel pretty good about taking the guys that I just took right there. I don't mind taking the guys I took. I like this 3 receivers early because now we can kind of pretty much avoid receiver for the most part. And I have 3 really good ones in my opinion. So this is the benefits of having the first overall pick. It's just the benefits. I mean, you can kind of go late running back. This isn't like super late, but it's late. I didn't go running back. And then I like Lawrence as you know, a number 1 guy, and we got Cousins. So, and we got 2 tight ends now that are middle of the pack, fairly decent. They go with our stacks as well. And what's crazy is that I passed on running back, and there's only been 2 running backs that have come off, and it's already coming down the back stretch here. Dylan and Perine are still on the board, who will probably be gone. Like I said, Charbonnet, McKinnon, Herbert, all 3 of those guys are going to be on the board probably by the time it's my pick. And so I'm not really concerned about taking tight end and quarterback the last 2 picks. See, here comes all these quarterbacks now. We've had 4 quarterbacks the last like 7 picks. These guys went 3 straight quarterbacks here. That's crazy. He's got 3 pretty decent receivers. Chubb, Walker, Sanders. Okay. He should have taken Charbonnet probably with one of these picks, considering that he's got Walker. That's what I would have done. But what do I know? Yeah, we're going to get one of these running backs. I'm probably going to go... I kind of want to go Khalil Herbert, bro. In all honesty, they do have Kansas City week 3. It's an afternoon game. Early afternoon game. I do want to go get Zay Jones as well. See, Brian Perine's there too, man. That's at Miami. Got Perine there. Perine just went. Okay, we don't have to worry about that then. Washington's got Buffalo. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm gonna go... I hate leaving. I can't leave this guy on the board. So I'm gonna go Zay Jones. Do we take Tank Bigsby? His ADP is 135. We're not gonna see him probably on the way back. There's probably no chance. Herbert could be the better pick though overall. Do we go Herbert? It is week 3. I'm going to take a chance here, guys. I'm going to pass up on Bigsby. We're going to take Herbert. It hurts me to do that because I really want Bigsby. Hopefully he falls. Let's just hope he falls. He falls, he falls. If he doesn't, he doesn't. We'll go get Jaylen Warren. We'll go get maybe Tyler Algier or something like that. I was hoping maybe he would fall. It's going to be close. He could fall. His ADP is like right here. So he'd have to fall about 7 or 8 picks for us to get our hands on him. You never know in these drafts, man, because people go after like select people. So obviously there you go. So that's not an option anymore. See, it doesn't surprise me though. This guy's first running back was Dalvin Cook. I would be going to get Charbonnet and take Bigsby too if I waited on running back as long as he did. Sky Moore, Jordan Addison, Marquise Brown, Mike Williams. He should not have taken Mike Williams right here. He should have taken... Well, he almost got Olave. That would have been crazy. I would have taken somebody else other than Mike Williams right here. I would have taken... I would have taken like T. Higgins probably. I don't even know. How do you get Mike Williams over T. Higgins, Devo, and DK? And Keenan Allen? And Amari Cooper? I don't even know how he landed on this. This is not a bad Travis Kelce Mahomes stack. He waited on running back a little too late. He should have went like running back right here. He should have went Brees right here. Or Najee or Etienne or Mixon. I like the Addison pick. If you replace Odell with a running back, you replace Marquise Brown with a running back, and then you make the Williams pick T. Higgins, Debo, or DK, this is a better team in my opinion. This is a way better team. Yeah, he messed that up big time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Mike Williams is a guy I am not very high on. Let's just put it that way. So I'm hoping I don't regret missing, you know, not taking Tank Bigsby right there. This is so early for him though. Used to be able to get Tank easily, like right here. Tank would always go in like the 140s, man. Like in a regular draft that wasn't weekly winners. Probably get Jaylen Warren next, and we'll take... I can't believe Taysom Hill is still on the board. If Taysom Hill's there, we'll take him, but I don't think he's going to make it to us. He might, though. Dalton Schultz returned to practice today, so that's good news because I do have Schultz as my 10th tight end on my rankings, obviously. You guys know that. So I'm a little bit higher on Schultz this year. I think you know, him being kind of really the number one, maybe number two option in the receiving game there, and Houston is going to boost his value. I cannot believe Taysom Hill is still on the board. He's got to go here soon. Elijah Mitchell. There he goes. Taysom Hill. There goes Laporta. All right, we're going to take Jaylen Warren unless this guy snags him from me. And then we're going to go... Oh my God, he snagged him from me too. All right, we're going to go Algier. We kind of have to go Algier at this point. Give me Algier and give me... Give me Dalton Schultz and give me Algier. That guy just snagged Jaylen Warren from me, bro. What is this guy doing? What is this guy doing? Looks like we have a pick up in the other league, I think, maybe. All right, Gus the Bus just went. Kendre Miller. It's good value on Miller. 150. That's pretty good value. You got Taysom Hill. Daniel Jones. This isn't a bad team, but it goes Jerome Ford, Kyler Murray, Thielen, and Higbee. Got Higbee and Hawkinson. Just beating that dude up. Oh my god. I'm looking at this stuff on X or Twitter or whatever you want to call it. Twitter X, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I'm looking at these stupid videos on here. All right, this isn't too bad here. We got 4 receivers. We got 2 from the Jaguars, obviously. We need to go get maybe another one here. Derek Carr's still on the board for some reason. I figured he would have gone already. Stafford's also on the board. Irv Smith is there. I think we'll try to get Irv Smith right here. I was actually thinking about taking Irv Smith in the last pick. We could take him here though if he falls. There goes Justin Ross. Man, the receivers just fly off the board in this. Okay, we're gonna take this guy next. And then let's go. We really need a running back. I shouldn't take Irv Smith. We really need a running back. We have 4 now, but we got 3 tight ends already. We're good at tight end, to be honest. We could give ourselves a better chance to win maybe if we had Irv Smith, though. You never know. He's getting really good hype here in practice. I'm gonna go. I gotta do this though. I have to do this just in case he is the guy that replaces him. If say something happened to Herbert, so let's take him and then let's go Jayden Reed. I take Jayden Reed in just about every single draft. Obviously, I'm kind of living and dying on the Jayden Reed train. We're going down with the ship if it goes down. If he ends up not being very, very good. But we also get him in like round 15, round 16, just about every draft that we do anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Took Roschon to back up Khalil Herbert, handcuffed that situation there since I missed out on Warren. I honestly couldn't believe Roschon was still on the board, to be honest. I believe he just came back to practice like a day or 2 ago, so Jayden Reed is a 5th receiver, not a bad option. They do have New Orleans that week though at home, and New Orleans usually has a pretty good secondary, pretty good defense overall, so I maybe lower my expectations for what he does that week in week 3. We will try to get another, well, we got 5 running backs, 5 receivers, 3 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks. We're probably pretty good in the quarterback department. We don't need to go get another one unless there's like absolutely nothing to choose from. See, and I was hoping like with this team would have been outstanding if I got Jalen Hurts at quarterback, which obviously we did not, but it would have been outstanding if we did. But we took the next best approach, which is to go Ridley and to go Trevor Lawrence right here. So I'm actually liking this team, man. This is a decent team. Now, Peterson, Najee are gonna have to pay off for me in a week. Hopefully, they just go stupid crazy in one of these weeks. the same week. Hopefully it's week 3. If they do, this team could, I think, pay off. It could pay off. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I think this team has a realistic chance, though, if I'm being honest. We have 3 more picks. We're not going to go get any more tight ends or quarterbacks. Indy went out and got Kenyon Drake, by the way, for those of you guys who didn't know. Indy went out and got Kenyon Drake as a running back. Kind of tells you what they're thinking there in Indianapolis because of the Zach Moss broken arm, I believe, or whatever it was. And then obviously you got the Jonathan Taylor stuff going on. So it's crazy, man. I'm just telling you, the running back market stuff, this is by far the craziest offseason I've ever seen for the running back position in general. I'm really just can't believe the way that the running back stuff has turned out. And like I said, dude, it's like you wouldn't even think Kenyon Drake would have been one of those guys who would have got signed in a scenario like with the Colts scenario. You would think that like Zeke or Fournette or even Cook, you know, you would think maybe they would have, like, I don't know. You'd think one of those guys would have been in the mix, but it ends up being Kenyon Drake of all people. It's just weird. It's so weird to me. I'm gonna try this out. I don't know why. I'm gonna try it though. And then I'm gonna yeah. So I'm gonna get Quez Watkins, and then I'm gonna go Clyde Edwards-Helaire, I guess. Let's see if the hype is real, huh? I mean, they got Chicago this week too, so I got running back versus running back. I don't know. We'll see. You never know. You never know. And then we're probably gonna go a receiver. We got Josh Palmer out there. We got a few people out there. We got Michael Wilson. We could think about Michael Wilson maybe, even though it's a little early for him to play week 3. They're talking about him getting the number 3 spot. So there's also this guy. I like this guy too. We'll see. We'll make a decision. Oh, I'm not gonna wait for Quez Watkins in round 18 because there's a chance he gets sniped from me, and so we gotta go get him now. I do like Quez Watkins a lot as a round 17 or round 18 pick. He's one of my favorite picks, especially if you go like a little bit of Philly stack, you know. I think he's one of the best picks you can take in the later rounds. And when I mean later rounds, I mean like the end of the draft, like round 17, 18. There's every now and then you'll get a guy in your league who you'll get a guy in your league every now and then. It's like out of nowhere, they take Quez Watkins in like round 17 or maybe even 16, and it's like, whoa, this guy was like on the what my strategy was. That's because he also kind of maybe going, he's going after some Philadelphia players, and he's one of the like later guys but he's one of the best guys to go get in the later rounds if you're going Philly, because he's the number 3 receiver. So who's had a big game here and there every now and then, not like super big game, but he's had a couple of games where he's won over 10 fantasy points. All right, we need to go get, we definitely need to go get another receiver here. I'm also hearing good reports about Josh Palmer. I've read a couple of good reports about Josh Palmer being maybe a little bit better, being a little bit better in practice than Quentin Johnston, which I'm not really shocked by. I don't think Quentin Johnston's gonna be the best receiver, especially out of that draft class this year. I do like him to a degree because of the offense that he's on, but if he ends up getting beat out by Palmer, 1, I wouldn't be shocked, and 2, his value at that point, his value just goes way down. He's got to beat out Palmer. He's got to be consistently the number 3 guy, and if he's not, I'm not sure. I don't have too much invested into Quentin Johnston. I probably won't get him in my normal leagues, to be honest. I don't know how much of them I have on Underdog. I don't have a ton of them, to be honest. I'm not super high on Quentin Johnston. I like him to a degree, but I'm not like, oh my god, I have to have this guy, I do like Addison way more. Like, it's not even close. I like Addison and JSN way more as a receiver, as an NFL player. I think, people that think that, I got 4 shares of them out of these 150 leagues that I got here on Best Ball, so yeah, I got a little less than 3% of them. Look at this, Jordan Mason, Kenyon Drake goes. Yeah, because Elijah Mitchell got hurt, so Jordan Mason now, who's the 3rd guy, who's really not a bad running back, he could be useful. Kenyon Drake now, because of the Indy signing. People are all over the news in this, dude, I'm telling you. They're going after all the guys that are in the news. It's so funny. I'm going to go ahead and take, I think, Palmer, unless this guy snags him. All right, so Josh Palmer is going to be the guy I take. I think. Having second thoughts here. Maybe we go. Actually, let's switch it up. Let's go Michael Wilson, because there's a chance that Michael Wilson could help me out, say later on in like a later week, like week 16 or something like that. And who knows, maybe I still have a chance to win one of those weeks. All right, let me refresh it so you guys can see. So we got Lawrence, Cousins, Najee, Pierce, Herbert, Roschon to back him up, Algier, Clyde Edwards. I know it's not the best running back room, but you never know. You never know if these two just have a good week, one particular week, the same week. Maybe we get something out of Herbert. JJ, Smith, Ridley, Zay Jones, Reed, Watkins, Michael Wilson. I like this. This is pretty good. Goddard, Ingram, Schultz. I don't mind this either. This is pretty good at tight end as well. We're pretty good everywhere except for running back, but we could get by with these two guys. You never know. The week average obviously isn't going to be very good because they have projections. That's all it is. It goes off of their projections. Their projections aren't always right though, so. All right, well, that's going to do it for us for this stream today. you know, we talked about the news. We did this draft right here, this weekly winter draft. There's going to be more and more news coming down the line, you know, coming down the pipe here this week and next week. It's really the first week of preseason this week. I'm gonna try to get you guys a video at some point in time. It's tough, man, with how much I work, time I spend in the gym, and doing the streams as well, man. I wish I could do this full time. I really do, but it doesn't pay the bills. You know what I mean? It doesn't pay the bills, and so until that's the case, man, it's gonna be, you know, I'm gonna try to do it as much as I can, help you guys out as much as I can, go over the news, do drafts, talk about, you know, whatever it is that's going on in the news, and give you guys strategy and give you guys, I guess, opinions and stuff, you know, based off of stuff that's going on and what I would do and what I would not do, and then also try to bring you guys the facts, the stats, everything, you know, to give you guys a broader idea why I think the way I think, you know. So hopefully we get some better news. Really, this past week, other than the Kamara news and then maybe the Josh Jacobs drawing interest from other teams and trade negotiations, you know, aside from those two pieces of news, there really wasn't a big week of news. That, you know, and then obviously the Cooper Kupp stuff really wasn't that big of a news week. So that makes me think we're gonna have some bigger news headlines coming down the road, maybe this week or next week. So it's like we're so close to football season, but yet we're so far away. It feels like back in May, back in June, everything was just flying by. Like those 4 weeks of, you know, the 4 weeks of those months would just fly by, and then here we are in the last month of August here before football season, and it feels like it's dragging on day by day. And so, yeah, with that being said, man, I'm gonna catch you guys later this week, maybe tomorrow. If not, maybe Wednesday or Thursday. We'll definitely catch you guys again at some point in time this week, especially if there's a big piece of news that comes down, like Dalvin Cook going somewhere. So with that being said, man, I'll catch you guys later. Check out my videos if you guys haven't checked out some of my videos. I'm gonna try to get, like I said, I'm gonna try to get maybe another one on there of, I'm gonna try to go over the best value picks, or really the best picks that you can take in each round. I'm gonna try to get a video out about that, and then we might do like another video of something else. We'll you know, just have to wait and see. So like maybe like my top 7 players to avoid, or top 7 players to go get, or something like that. So I will catch you guys later, and I am out of here. Peace out. You guys have a good one.